YouTube! Today we're gonna talk about Heroes Comic-Con Helsinki. So this was a Friday until Sunday event from the 9th until the 11th. And the reason I look so pissy in the first clip is that the sun was directly in my eyes. Now, I don't usually talk about the ticket prices that much, but with this event I have to talk about the ticket prices. Here you can see the ticket prices for the weekend tickets. So they started from 70 euros and went up to 95 euros, and for most of the time they were 85 euros. This was for the 3 days, and if you wanted to be an artist-style vendor, they also listed that price on the website, and it was 350 euros. Now, there were also thankfully tickets for the separate days on Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and I only decided to get the Saturday ticket because of the price point. The Friday one was the cheapest, with the standard being 35 and the late bird being 40. And the Saturday one was 45 for me, as I got my ticket literally the day before the event. Now, the good thing about this is that only some of the tickets sold out and a lot were left until the beginning of the event. And this is usually always a problem with bigger Finnish events. If they're really popular, then they sell out really fast. This didn't sell out, so that's good, but there are only 2 conventions I have been to in my life that are in this same price range. One is the Sherlock convention. I have been to 2 Sherlock conventions and both were in this approximate price range. And the other is Hellocon. The Sherlock conventions I visited had loads of actors from Sherlock, including Benedict Cumberbatch. And Hellocon always has a variety of different really famous designers as well as the tea party on the second day that has loads of amazing food to eat. As you can see, one of the main guests was from Vampire Diaries, but there were loads of other actors as well. And for all of them you had to get additional tickets for things like selfies, photos, and there was meet and greets for some actors as well. Here you can see, I think this one was the most expensive one, but all of these you had to buy in addition to your ticket. Now, of course, you could buy the early bird ticket and save some money, but one of the main guests for the event was originally supposed to be Elijah Wood, and they cancelled. And the frequently asked questions section specifically said that if one of the actors cancels, you can only get your money back for the actor's specific tickets. So that can happen, and I feel like with this kind of an event, with artists from different areas and industries and franchises, if your favorite cancels, it might happen that you feel like the event is no longer worth it for you. So I'm not sure that I would recommend getting the early bird ticket unless there are loads of actors you're personally interested in and you don't mind if some of them do cancel. Now, the actor I was most interested in was Neil Newbon from Baldur's Gate 3. He voices Astarion, and the selfie with him was 50 euros as well as the photo. There was also Devora Wilde, who voices Lesariel, and I actually noticed something that for me was a little bit strange. Devora's tickets were like 10 euros cheaper, both her autograph and her photo ticket, and I understand that her character is a little less popular, but they're both from the same franchise and they have like roughly the same amount of lines. It's not like one of them is a major character and the other is a minor character. And I know that Astarion is much more popular with the fans, but it still felt weird to me to have a female artist from the same franchise and a male artist, and to have the female artist's tickets be that much cheaper. You could also meet loads of different comic book artists, and you could also meet cosplayers and content creators, and for a lot of them you didn't need an extra ticket, it was included in the base ticket, and the Q&As were also included in the base ticket. I didn't buy any of the extras, I considered some, but in the end I just got the Saturday ticket. So I get to the venue and I realized that the cloakroom is 4 euros. And I'm a little bit mad about that because I feel like the event is already so expensive, and the line to the cloakroom was also really slow and taking a while. And the Q&A with Neil and Devora, which was one of the things I was most interested in, started at 11, and I was worried I was not gonna make it. But as you can see, I made it before the actors. I actually got a really good seat. The seats in the back had this tilted floor, so I could see. No one was in front of me. I could see clearly on the stage. I could film. I was a bit far, but it was fine. I could hear super well. Neil and Devora were both just lovely. They were so lovely. So this was a Q&A where fans would line up and they could ask their questions. A lot of them wanted to show fan art, share their love of the series, and give them stuff, and it was really cute. I also really loved Neil and Devora's answers. They were funny and witty and also really kind. I always wish that they would give fans more time to ask questions. There are only 45 minutes and I feel like the moderators talk through so much of it. And the interviewers in both Estonia and Finland are really similar in the fact that we always ask about our own country and about how the actors are finding it. But the fans asked all sorts of questions. Apparently some were repeats from the Friday Q&A. Some people did film the entire thing, so I'm sure there are full versions of it available on YouTube somewhere, but I just wanted to highlight this one answer that I really liked.
The level of creativity that comes from people's passion for certain games, ours, as well as many other games as well. It's a beautiful thing to see the resonation of artistry that breeds artistry in others by inspiration. It's very cool. And it's great that I hope so many people that feel maybe they don't have confidence to carry, if they have talent, they don't have the confidence, just create. Don't worry about whether people like it or not. Just make it, because actually, so we've seen some incredible artwork inspired by the game over the last couple of years since the launch. It's been amazing.
Did you expect the game to be as big as it is?
No, not really, no.
Definitely not. I think we were just so focused on doing the job and doing a good job, and then anything that comes after is just like a bonus.
Yeah.
I definitely, even when the game first came out, you know, and it was obviously getting like amazing reviews and people were talking about it, and I was like, okay, that's fine, that's great, that's actually more than enough at this point.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of snowballed, and you know, I think if you go into the job expecting that, you're kind of gonna
You're lost. You're not gonna
screw yourself. So,
I think even Laura, we knew it was going to be a great game.
Yeah.
We believe fundamentally
Absolutely.
this is a great game. It's a great gameplay, and we know the narrative is very strong. It's going to be a great, good game. We were not expecting this. This has been a phenomenon.
I loved the Q&A, and honestly I think it made it worth the ticket price for me. Afterwards I wanted to see a cosplay performance, and you can see the Heroes Perform stage here where it was held. As you can see, there was no tilt in the floor, and they asked people to come closer and closer, which makes sense because then more people can fit. But also I'm really short, I can't see behind other people if they're standing, and I would have had to stand the entire time anyways, so I decided not to bother. Then there was also this stage, which was the Heroes Talks stage. And the situation there was slightly better. They had seats, so I think the visibility was better, but I wasn't super interested in any of the program, so I didn't visit it. So I spent most of my time in the giant sales area. Of course, the first thing that caught my eye were these dresses. This booth sold like idol dresses and maid dresses and cosplay dresses. I was surprised that the quality looked quite good. I think these dresses look pretty nice. There were also loads of food vendors inside the sales area, which I was surprised about. Like, I have never seen sugar art like that at any Finnish convention before, so that's really cool. There were also, what I can only imagine, were sponsors. They had places for Telia and Elisa, which, if you don't know, are the Estonian and Finnish telecommunication companies. And they also had booths where you could get free Dr. Pepper, the line was insane, and booths where you could spin a wheel to get a free Nissin noodle. Overall, this and many other things made the event feel incredibly commercialized. Like, they showed ads before the Neil and Devora Q&A as well. So I was like, wow, you guys are really making money wherever you can, which I kind of would respect, but tickets are already so expensive, so I don't know. Of course, there were also well-known Finnish vendors, like Talking to Myself, who is one of my all-time favorites. I got some stuff for my friends, like a ice cream necklace, and also there's a really cool skull necklace with liquid inside, and I got myself this little cake. This is my favorite kind of cake. I love strawberry cake with whipped cream and this sort of soft sponge cake with strawberry jam. I especially love if there are almonds on the side, but still, this is pretty much my perfect cake. And as you can see in the background, I already own a lot of talking to myself stuff. So yeah, I really love their stuff. There was other cool stuff as well. I tried to film most of the Grandmaster of the Money Cultivation things I sold. There was one booth that had loads of them. There was a lot of merchandise, a lot of merchandising booths. Some of them I hadn't seen at Finnish conventions before, but I had seen at the Estonian conventions, and I believe that they're like Latvian or Lithuanian or even maybe Polish, so I was surprised by that. It was overall a really international convention. There were loads more Estonian visitors as well than I usually see at Finnish conventions. I think the reason is that this event marketed itself and was fully English, where a lot of Finnish conventions market themselves to Finnish audience and are almost fully in Finnish. So there were a lot more Estonians than usual. And also in terms of vendors, there were lots of international vendors. There were also gacha machines, which I was really surprised by. I had never seen that at a Finnish convention before. Another thing I didn't usually see, but was pretty sure that I sold this time, was some bootleg merchandising. I can't be 100% sure, so please don't sue me or anything, but I'm pretty certain that there was some bootleg merchandise. There were also a lot of places that sold dresses and bags and cute stuff like that. And the Artist Alley also had many beloved artists that you can usually see in the Finnish conventions. The Artist Alley was the hardest place to film in. It was the most cramped. Otherwise there was space anywhere, but in the Artist Alley for some reason there were a few really cramped places. Oh, and you could also get tattoos done, which did surprise me. I have seen that at least at one convention before, but it's really rare. Then of course, because this is a comic convention, they had different comic vendors. And I was really tempted by some, and I feel like maybe I should have gotten some. One thing were these art books that you can see here. Another was a Harley Quinn comic by Melissa Marr. I love Melissa Marr's writing, so maybe I should have gotten that. Outside of the main vendors area, there were loads of little restaurants that you could visit, so you didn't have to go out of the convention area. You could just eat at the convention, and there were loads of food options, so that was great. But honestly, I had spent loads of time in the convention area. I was interested in the cosplay competition, but that was so late that I couldn't have stayed for the entirety of it. So I decided to leave around 3:30. Overall, I feel like the Neil and Devora Q&A did make it worth it for me to go and to pay the 45 euros for the Saturday ticket, but it's definitely the kind of convention where if you're not heavily invested in the actors, if you're not a big fan of any of them or the cosplayers or the artists, then it's not worth going. It's not worth paying that much for just the sponsors and the vendors area. The vendors area is cool, but it's not that special. So you really need to be a fan of the artists, and I would recommend that you're a fan of more than one of the actors at the event, just in case they cancel or for it to really be worth it for you. So I don't think I'll be going back unless they have someone that I'm really interested in. Saturday was actually also the day that Hellocon tickets would come on sale, and a friend of mine had invited me to a Gothic store that I didn't know about, where they had a small Lolita meetup and get together to buy Hellocon tickets. The store was absolutely great, and I was surprised of having never heard of them because I tried to keep on top of things like that. I will link their Instagram down below. This isn't sponsored, but still. And I also asked one of their staff to tell me a little bit about their store.
We are located in Helsinki, in Snellmanikatu, quite near Tuomiokirkko, and as you can see, we have lots of staple black pieces, some home items as well, hair colors, a little bit of cosmetics, and then we have pretty nice section for second-hand This keeps on living, we get new stuff, people buy from there, so it's constantly living and changing a little bit. They're so high.
Overall, I had a great Saturday and we all managed to get our tickets. I had some help, which I'm very grateful for, and got the tea party ticket as well. And also a great big thanks to FreakyAngel for providing me with this fun clip. She has a great blog, so I'll link it, as well as her YouTube channel down below. And if you've gotten this far, then make sure to subscribe and leave a like if you've enjoyed this video. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!